you to Frame It, where we work to deliver facts, increase transparency, and demand accountability in Alabama's democratic processes. Frame It is brought to you by Alabama Values Progress, a media advocacy organization breaking the cycle of disinformation during the times where the truth is hard to find. On today's episode, we will discuss an incredibly anti-democratic bill in the Alabama House right now. House Bill 209 by Representative Jamie Kiel is yet another example of how lawmakers are working to make access to voting more difficult, but comes as no surprise since Alabama has a long, storied history of voter suppression and voter disenfranchisement. House Bill 209 aims to criminalize individuals and organizations who assist others with voting via absentee ballots. This bill would severely limit those who were able to assist absentee voters. Paying someone to deliver or bring an absentee ballot to you would also yield a felony charge. Absentee ballots are ballots that are sent to voters who are unable to vote in person on Election Day. This includes voters who are overseas in the military or are unable to leave their homes due to illness or disability. Absentee ballots allow these voters to participate in the democratic process and have their voices heard, even if they are unable to be physically present at the polling place. Not one, but two federal laws allow voters to have assistance by a person of their choice for voting. This is outlined in Section 208 of the Voting Rights Act, as well as the Americans with Disabilities Act. The bill would also criminalize paying someone to take your absentee ballot to the courthouse. Should people really be charged for giving gas money to someone to ensure their ballot makes it to be counted? Let's be real, this is ridiculous. Lawmakers should be creating more access to voting, not creating additional obstacles that are more likely to suppress the vote. On Wednesday, April 19th, the Constitution's Campaigns and Elections Committee held a public hearing on HB 209. They heard from visually impaired folks who need assistance to vote. They heard from grassroots organizers who work on the ground helping ensure that elderly and disabled Alabamians have access and assistance with absentee ballots so they can do their civic duty and vote. Despite the outcry from organizers and impacted individuals, the committee voted 9-3 to send the bill to the House floor for consideration. Now, let's talk about transparency. The committee meeting was held in a smaller meeting room, that was not equipped for live streaming, and the security officers attempted to keep members of the press out of the room, citing fire code. Members of the press were originally told that there would be only space for one camera person. After objections, they allowed members of the press inside, but some of the press members were stuck in the back corner of the room and were not able to get good footage. Alabama's legislature has a history and habit of running from accountability and transparency, and this is just another example of that. Transparency is one of the fundamental values for our democratic institutions. Transparency ensures that the actions of those in power are open to scrutiny and that citizens have access to the information they need to hold their elected officials accountable. Legislative transparency is essential for a healthy democracy. The tactics the Alabama legislature uses time and time again to mute the voices of Alabamians must stop. The framers of our Constitution made sure that everything runs through Montgomery, and legislators do what they want to do without regard to their constituents' thoughts and opinions. Plain and simple, lawmakers work for the citizens of Alabama, and therefore legislative transparency ensures that citizens are informed about the laws that affect their lives and that they are able to see if their voices are being heard at the State House and if they truly need to re-elect their elected officials. In an ideal world, all laws would be written in plain language and citizens would be able to easily understand the implications of any given piece of legislation. However, this is rarely the case, and the legislative process can be complex and difficult to follow. And y'all, let's be real, some of these legislators don't even understand the bills that come before them. They are just doing what they are told by legislators who hold seniority. At the very least, Alabama's legislature should work harder to have open legislative proceedings that allow everyday Alabamians to have a say in how they want the state to be run and speak on issues that are imperative to the communities they live in. If more legislative proceedings were held where the public had the option to give opinions, there would be more pressure on lawmakers to act in the best interest of their constituents rather than their own self-interest. Now, let's get back to absentee voting. In the 2020 election, more than 300,000 Alabamians voted absentee. That's a huge fraction of the normal voting bloc in Alabama. One might ask, why does the Alabama legislature want to suppress votes? It's pretty simple. Alabama is becoming more diverse and less white, and overwhelmingly majority of Alabama legislators are white male. This This is another attempt at a power grab to help white men maintain control of the legislature by suppressing the vote of those who might vote against them. It's part of a playbook they've been using since the 1901 Constitution was written.
Only in Alabama that you will ever see something so foolish. It's our right to vote, but they are taking every right, chipping away at it, chipping, to where we will not have anything left and any other means for us to represent ourselves. I have never been so shamed in my life to travel the way I travel and have to become up to bills like this when people ask you, are you from Alabama? Oh, do they still have slavery? People actually think that because of the laws here in this state. We got to fight because we ain't going back. You got to stand for what you believe in. You cannot let this happen and not say nothing.
Voter suppression is often targeted at specific groups, such as people of color, young voters, and those with lower income. Lawmakers must understand that legislative transparency is essential to building trust between citizens and their elected officials. Right now, the trust isn't there, and the legislature has proven time and time again that they can't be trusted. So in closing, let me put it in a frame for you. Voter suppression harms everyone and undermines democracy. When people are prevented from voting, it skews the results of elections and reduces the legitimacy of the government. Absentee ballots help to increase voter turnout, which is critical to ensuring that our elected officials are truly representative of the people they serve. Voter suppression can have a ripple effect, causing people to lose faith in the electoral process and disengage from civic life altogether. It's more important than ever to mobilize and tap in. We must hold our legislators accountable, and we must halt any anti-democratic bills that come before the legislature. Our democracy depends on this. Thank you for watching this episode of Frame It. I'm Kendra Love, and I'm signing off. Join us next time as we continue to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly going on at the State House. You can catch future episodes by following us on social media and visiting us on the web. See you later.
We need your help to stop HB 209. You can sign our petition and then use our script to call your representative to tell them to put people first and politics aside and vote no on HB 209. We cannot let this bill go to the Senate. Alabamians deserve increased accessibility to the ballot, not more obstacles to cast their votes.